The Hospital Lakers are going into a brutal stretch of games without LeBron, and they just encountered the first strategy that teams will spam against them on this road trip from hell. The following is a full breakdown of this strategy, and the first set of adjustments from JJ to try and beat it with a depleted roster. These guys are playing 3D basketball chess, and it's glorious. The Lakers were really banged up in this game. They were missing LeBron, Hachimura, Hayes, and Finney-Smith, so Gabe, Dalton, and Len got to start. This game would require a lot of heavy lifting from Luka, who was dealing with a bad back. Brooklyn started the game aggressive on defense, putting 2 on the ball on Reeves, and flying by on closeouts to the shooters.
Good flyby that time, and it's just a step to the left, and Vincent's got the first bucket, and it's a 3 for the Lakers.
And on the other side, they were running Russell-off screens like Steph, and creating problems for Alex Len on the D'Lo Claxton pick-and-roll coverage.
Russell, give it up. Claxton, the easy flush.
Len is super slow-footed and can only play drop on the pick-and-roll, so D'Lo was looking to launch as much as possible early. On the other side of the ball, though, he had some decent zoom actions with Vincent.
Vincent gets inside for 2.
The coverage on Luka pick-and-rolls was a full double, forcing Len to make decisions as the short roll big.
Been the same since coming back from injury. Here he is kicking into the corner. Dalton's got to look. Oh, that rolled around.
Look at this. So look at Gabe Vincent wide open. And what happens is you got a man beat, forced to help, and everyone's loaded on the weak side. And so that's just a nice play.
The doubles were being sent even before passing half court, and they kept coming. But bad hands from Len ended in blown possessions.
Luka will bounce it now to Reeves. That's a good look under to Alex Len, who fumbled it. Boy, Alex was right there.
In early offense, they were putting the lanky 6'9" Williams on him, and he was bumping and shot faking to create separation.
To get up in the air, and he just bullies into Williams and scores off the window.
As well as putting some English on it amongst the trees.
Reverse layup is spun up and in by Luka.
If it wasn't a full double, then it was a hard hedge and switch. So Luka started countering by splitting the pick and roll.
Oh, behind the back, Luka pulls his way in to score. Luka Doncic.
You talk about using your body.
Unfortunately, his shot was off from the jump, and defensively, it was a mixed bag. On one hand, he was getting into passing lanes.
A whole lot of playing time since, but certainly tonight he gets a chance. Bad pass, and stepping in to get it is Luka.
Flying by on shooters and contesting from behind.
To beat the clock.
And on the other, he was losing shooters, forcing Gabe to try and cover for him. Brooklyn has some dogs, and they were running good transition offense against LA's weaker defenders.
Johnson, he was crafty on his birthday.
Len continued making solid decisions in the short roll.
Down the middle, Len, that's a good kick, and Vincent's at it again.
And no LeBron, no problem, touchdown.
For a moment, but nobody was there. At the other end, they go immediately to Dalton. Boy,
what a pass.
With the Nets sleeping off the inbound, Doncic continued picking apart the defense.
Knocked it out of bounds, just turned 26 years of age. Catch and shoot, Goodwin. Yes, sir.
A brilliant start to the game by the Hospital Lakers, who found themselves up 12 to end the first.
Threw up a brick. Lakers have Dalton ahead of the pack, and with 1.2, another brilliant outlet by the Lakers.
After allowing one of their season-best defensive quarters to start the game, the Lakers were feeling themselves, and for good reason. Goodwin picked up right where they left off, cashing in from his favorite spot to open the second frame.
Change pace. Ball movement out to Goodwin. He's got another one. Same spot.
But cracks in the armor started showing on the glass, allowing not just second, but third chance opportunities.
He's off. Wilson there underneath, walking a tightrope on the baseline. Swing it. Russell. No good. Clowney flies in. Clowney denied by Len, but a foul.
Len was supposed to shore up some paint presence, but the Nets kept feasting down low regardless. Up by as many as 14, the Lakers got too comfy, throwing the ball away like freebies.
Since the Luka deal, turnover.
And as you'd expect, Brooklyn turned those miscues into instant offense.
Miss of the free throw line. Take it away, Clowney. The the steal and slam.
Turnovers after a timeout are an absolute cardinal sin, yet LA kept coughing it up.
And Vanderbilt is out of bounds, so coming off the timeout, the Nets force a turnover. That's the 7th of the night.
And you could see JJ's frustration boiling over. Meanwhile, their backup center, unfortunately, was still a liability on both ends.
And it's picked up by Johnson. Johnson moves in. He gets knocked down. That's got to be 2 free throws.
Yeah, that's going to be on Lynn
That's
also.
his third.
Thankfully, Luka's on-court wizardry remained unstoppable.
And it's Vanderbilt from the outside. Doncic looking to lean in, was thinking left hand. Instead, it's Goodwin. He's got his third triple.
And when he's on the receiving end, forget about it.
Reeves is in the restricted area. Can Luka make it 7 of the last 7? Yes, he can.
Brooklyn had their own answer with a Claxton flare screen for a triple.
Keon Johnson steps into it and put it on the board.
However, the Lakers weren't capitalizing on the Grand Canyon type of golden looks.
Vincent kicks it. Wide open Dalton. Boy, too much time.
Way too much time.
Way too much is correct.
And naturally, Brooklyn capitalized.
No look. Martin got it.
The Lakers' defense, though, wavered between high pressure and straight doormat mode.
Claxton throws it in off the board.
Reeves even tried to set up for a charge, but got flattened instead.
That is kind of crazy.
That's
isn't it?
crazy.
Here's Martin. Lay it up and in as Reeves was looking to take the charge.
And late rotations from LA let Brooklyn rain down from deep. Just like that, the Lakers' comfortable 14-point cushion was sliced down to 3, courtesy of an 8-0 blitz by Brooklyn. But unlike Len, Jamison was holding his own in the paint.
Wants to attack Jemison, still wants to, and Trey stood his ground.
While the Nets recognized the Lakers' short bench and cranked up the tempo to force LA's rotation deeper than they'd like, D'Lo was on some snatching ankles duty.
Oh, he fakes out Doncic. Might have injured his ankle.
Thin margin for error, more like razor thin for these injury-ravaged Lakers. But hey, Dalton Connect can rise up and yam it.
9 turnovers of 4, and then
Oh! You can go ahead and say it, Mike. Go ahead. Oh!
I think that spoke for itself.
Yeah, exactly true.
The Nets showcased perfect hot potato ball movement to seize the lead late in the quarter.
Johnson a clean look, put it on the board, a 3. Nets up by 1.
They outscored LA by 13 in the second, flipping the script and heading into halftime up by 1. Coming out of the half, the Nets knew that Luka was compromised physically and wanted him on an island. And cross matches in transition were causing massive mismatch problems.
Reaching in, trying to get a hold of it. Now the lob is successful on the other side.
They had him chasing opposing wings off pin downs.
Their last game to beat the Nets. There's Johnson. That's a nice play.
On the other side, the plan was still to let the other Lakers beat them, as long as it wasn't Luka going off.
Fracture. Ouch, that doesn't sound good. But he hasn't worn them. 52-50. Alex Len, corner. Connect. Not there.
Double hard every single time.
Overwritten all over it from the start. And Johnson throws it down. Left-hand jam.
And get LA in chaotic rotation situations. 9-1 Nets run. Timeout. JJ made some nice adjustments. Reeves had been 0 for 8 up until this point, so coach decided to run a pin down to get him going.
Team times, believe it or not, as Reeves out of the timeout rattles it in.
Because ball screens kept bringing a second defender that would end up doubling Luka, JJ decided to start running less pick and rolls.
Doncic lobs up and Jemison lays it up and in.
And the Lakers were doing a great job of turning defense into offense.
And the Lakers deny right at the rim. Reeves, connect. A little bit of a flyby. One bounce for a rhythm.
Brooklyn had an answer.
Losing streak. That's a rainbow by Johnson.
But JJ's adjustments after that timeout had erased the deficit from that 9-1 Nets run. However, even without running ball screens, Brooklyn would not stop trapping. So the offense went back to that action, choosing to trust their short roll players to make the right decisions. With all that pressure on him, it wasn't until the end of the third that the officials actually called a shooting foul in Luka's favor.
Out of bounds it goes.
Luka raises his hands as if to say, finally, you call a foul.
And after going 0 of 8 in the period up until that point, he started catching a little fire.
For Luka Doncic. And he adds to the point total as he lays it up and in, and the Lakers lead.
Both teams ended the third throwing haymakers at each other.
Into the corner, boy, they close out on Gabe pretty quickly, Stu. But Connect is wide open. Count it. Connect it. Connect-a-mundo for number 4. Wilson. Boy, didn't take much time, did he? Hey, Vincent. Now Luka's going to try. One. He was due.
No, he was overdue.
Injury-riddled Lakers trying to get one here in Brooklyn. You're right, they're just casting off. That was Beekman who hit. Drive, kick, Gabe. It's his turn! It's Gabe's turn!
13 lead changes in the third quarter alone, and the score, 79-81. Brooklyn in front. The Lakers opened the final frame living by the 3. But D'Lo, who'd been frozen most of the night, finally got a little daylight to answer back.
D'Lo!
That's his first basket of the game.
But in typical Lakers fashion, they kept tripping over their own shoelaces with unnecessary turnovers.
Another turnover.
Yeah.
As if that wasn't enough, LA's box outs went AWOL, and the Nets happily feasted on second chance points.
13 offensive rebounds for Brooklyn and counting as they have it to the outside. Another chance. You cannot give up that many opportunities.
Thank goodness Connect was sinking a few from downtown to keep them afloat.
Reeves in the attacking zone, right wing Connect. He does not hesitate.
That was deep. Now that one was really deep.
One of the top shooters in the game.
But one make doesn't magically cure a cold hand. LA kept chucking from beyond the arc despite the rim telling them, no thanks. The story stayed the same. Turnovers and easy points for Brooklyn.
Brooklyn on a run. Their biggest lead has been 8. Timeout as the lead balloons to 7.
Up by 7, the Nets forced JJ to call a desperate timeout to regroup. To contain Luka, Brooklyn made sure he saw 2.
With their kick.
Short clock, and there's the double team.
But they are chasing him all over the place. And is he going to count it?
They're saying no, but they're saying no.
Coach
Forcing him to fight through constant pressure just to get a shot off.
spinning, turning, shooting, scoring with the soft touch.
But Vanderbilt couldn't be denied.
As they find the corner and Connect, who rides it up and in, but an offensive rebound and a two-hand jam followed by Vanderbilt.
LA's lack of size was a major issue in clutch time, and those doubles on Luka ended up paying off with turnovers here and there. But when he connected, he punished the Nets with pinpoint passes.
Catch, shoot, Vincent!
A late closeout by Gabe let D'Lo bury another triple in response. AR-15 gave the Lakers a lifeline.
He steps into a three. Oh, he banked it in!
But like clockwork, the Lakers' fatal flaw reappeared, giving up offensive rebounds at the worst possible moments. Even Luka's last-second magic from deep couldn't overcome the team's defensive lapses and sloppy fundamentals. The Lakers took their second straight L by 3 points. This is shaping up to be a long, bumpy road for a Lakers squad missing key pieces. If they don't tighten up the ball handling and clean up their woes on the glass, these narrow defeats are about to become a painful trend, because turnovers and second chance points are a one-way ticket to Heartbreak Hotel in the NBA.